What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and 2018 has been a great year for sneaker releases, and I figured now that we're reaching the end of the year, I would take a look back at some of my favorite pickups of the entire year. Hopefully you guys have already seen my top 10 best sneakers of 2018 video, which if you haven't seen yet, make sure to check out at the link at the top of the screen. I might have been a little bit biased, but I still think it was a pretty good list, and a lot of you guys seem to agree with me. However, there were some of you who told me to kill myself and that it was the worst thing you'd ever seen, which, come on guys, a little bit dramatic. So I figured, screw those guys, I'm gonna release a list about my top 10 favorite sneaker pickups of 2018, whether those shoes released this year or any previous year, and you guys can agree with me or not. I don't really care at this point. So this top 10 will only include sneakers that are currently in my possession as we speak. It won't include sneakers that I've already ordered that just haven't come in yet. It won't include sneakers that I've purchased but just haven't received yet, like the Yeezy 350 Reflective, which I somehow got lucky on a Yeezy supply this morning, and I Twitch streamed it as well. So shameless plug, if you guys haven't checked out my Twitch, make sure to do that, twitch.tv/Seth Fowler. I live stream Yeezy Cops and just other random sneaker stuff. There will also be a link to my Twitch in the description below. So without further ado, let's jump right into the list. Number 10, the black 2018 Off-White Nike Blazer. As I said in my previous top 10 list, even though I love the Off-White Nike collection, I felt like this year they didn't really show up. It was kind of just more of the same. It was all sneakers from the 10 collection in just different colors. With that being said, it didn't mean that I didn't personally love the sneakers. In fact, the Off-White Nike Blazer in this black colorway is one of my favorite sneakers to release this year. As much as people seem to hate on the comfort of the Blazer, I actually found it to be very comfortable, and I found myself rocking it a lot. And the reason I like this black colorway so much is that it can get very dirty, and because it's all black, you really can't see it. Not only that, but black and white just goes with everything. Like, I could wear this thing to Christmas parties, I wore it to the Grand Canyon, I could wear it pretty much anywhere and no one would even bat an eye. Of course, the fact that it's an Off-White sneaker doesn't hurt. You get a little bit of that hype with some of the Off-White branding. I got my personal pair from StockX, so huge thank you to them for sending my pair out. I also actually gave away a pair a couple months ago, so if you guys were a part of that giveaway, thank you guys for entering. But it's just a very clean, very wearable, and relatively weatherproof sneaker that's easy to rock. Number 9, the OG Levi's Air Jordan 4. I got super lucky and won a raffle for these at UBIC and actually jumped on an Amtrak after work from New York City, took it all the way down to Philly, grabbed the sneakers, and went right back up. This was a pair I really didn't want to miss out on because I love the concept of a distressed sneaker. I think that's so cool. So far, I've only worn this sneaker like 5 or 6 times. I wore it on a trip with Jordan Brand to LA, so that was pretty cool. But even though I've worn it a little bit, it still hasn't been enough to actually distress the upper, so I'm kind of considering going at it with sandpaper, maybe, or maybe like dropping some bleach on it or something. I don't know. I don't know if I want to ruin this shoe just yet because I don't think I'll do a great job at it. With that being said, because it is a blue denim sneaker, you can't really wear blue denim with it. Like, you have to wear a pair of black jeans or maybe just not jeans at all with this shoe because it really can clash. I also really love the Levi's accents around the sneaker, like this cardboard hit on the tongue, the Levi's tag on the back of the tongue, and then of course on the other side of the sneaker you've got the Levi's tag on the midfoot. And this colorway in particular I really like, even more so than the black and the white colorway, because it's got this contrasting gold stitching all the way around the denim. Also, I think the color blocking on the midsole and on the outsole is done better on this colorway than the other 2 colorways. Overall, the OG Levi's Air Jordan 4 is a very unique sneaker and one that I'm definitely looking forward to rocking in 2019. Number 8, the 2018 Off-White Air Jordan 1s. I love the Air Jordan 1s, and I especially love the Off-White Air Jordan 1s because I think they're an excellent collaboration on one of the best sneakers of all time. Now, as you can probably tell, this EU all-white pair is a size 11.5 and I'm a size 9, so this pair hasn't really gotten anywhere whatsoever, but I'm just waiting for that perfect trade to come along, or maybe, you know, start to lose ad revenue on YouTube and I need to sell this pair, but until then, it's staying in my collection. Out of the 2 colorways, however, I think I prefer the UNC ones because I think the contrast is just a little bit nicer on the upper. It's a funny story how I actually got this pair of sneakers. A friend of mine, someone who I used to customize sneakers for, actually hit on the Nike Sneakers app back when they first dropped. We struck a deal for a price that was absolutely insane and only really seemed to make sense on the day that I actually bought this pair of sneakers. I was just really impatient and wanted to buy this pair of shoes for the review. That ended up being a mistake because the prices plummeted like a week later, so kind of sucked. However, he did deliver this pair of sneakers to me when I was at the airport, which kind of made me feel like a baller, I'm not gonna lie. But the real question is this pair worth $1,800? Not even close. At the end of the day though, yes, I did make a very stupid mistake. The review didn't get anywhere close to the number of views that I wanted, but at least the money went to someone that I actually liked and not some rando on the internet. The white pair, however, was gifted to me by the people over at Bump, so shout out to them, thank you so much, and I guess it kind of evened out the losses on this pair. Number 7, the Kind of Guys Adidas Ultra Boost. This is my favorite Ultra Boost of the year and quite possibly one of my favorite Ultra Boosts of all time. I am shocked that you can still find pairs of these sitting. In fact, you can find pairs on StockX for under retail, and And the more I think about it, the crazier it seems because this shoe is gorgeous. It's a super clean tan sneaker made up of premium materials. It's also got this very unique prime knit pattern, which I just love. I didn't think I was gonna like it at first, but seeing it in hand, it's awesome. But my absolute favorite part of this sneaker is this lacing system. The way it kind of looks like a moccasin. I just think that's so dope. Plus, you've got this full-length boost midsole, so not only is it a unique, eye-catching shoe, but it's also extremely comfortable as well. And if you're looking for a little pop of color, you've got the outsole, which has got this yellow and pink tie-dye pattern. In my opinion, you can't go wrong with this shoe, and I think it's probably the most underrated shoe of 2018. Number 6, the 2018 Black Cement 3s. I've been waiting for a retro of these for years. I've missed out on every single Black Cement 3 release up until this point, and I just couldn't wait to have it because this is one of my favorite Air Jordans of all time. One of the big selling points of the 2018 Black Cement 3s is the Nike Air branding on the heel. I love that Nike and Jordan Brand are bringing that branding back. I think it's great. I think it brings it back to the true OG look. And I mean, the Black Cement 3s are one of the most classic Air Jordan sneakers out there, and if you guys didn't know, the Air Jordan 3 was actually the sneaker that convinced Michael Jordan to stay with Jordan Brand. After the Air Jordan 2, Michael wasn't totally sure if he wanted to stick with Nike just because he didn't love the way that sneaker looked, but Tinker Hatfield came along, designed this sneaker, and just blew him away. And you can definitely see why, because even 20, 25, 30 years later, it's still an incredible looking sneaker and you can wear it for pretty much any occasion. The leather quality on the 2018 version it's all right. It still feels a little bit plasticky. It's nothing incredible. It's not as plasticky as some of the recent Air Jordan 3s, like the True Blues, which were horrible on feet. I couldn't even wear them. They really, really hurt. But the materials on these guys are nicer enough that you don't have to worry about any sort of toe pinching, and they feel great on foot. Honestly, I should have doubled up on this pair because this is a shoe that I'm gonna rock all the time until it basically falls apart. So I really should have gotten a second pair. Number 5, the Nike Pegasus 35 Turbo. I didn't know what to expect when I bought this shoe. I thought because it had 2 different kinds of foam in the midsole, it might be fun to review, but I just didn't realize that this is honestly one of my favorite shoes of the year and probably one of my most worn. The Pegasus Turbo might be one of the more simple and honestly even boring looking shoes on the list, but man, it's comfortable. Like I said, the midsole is made up of 2 different kinds of foam. You've got React on the bottom and then Zoom X on the top, and that combination of foam makes this shoe unbelievable underfoot. The Zoom X on the top is extremely soft and almost feels like you're walking on marshmallows, and then the React underneath gives you a little bit more stability so you don't feel like you're slipping around. The look is a little bit aggressive. This sort of tail on the heel is not my favorite thing in the world, but it's something that you don't really notice when you're wearing the shoe on foot, and it actually kind of helps you a little bit when you're running. I wear this shoe both for running and also just casually, and I've got to say, in both cases, I love the way it feels. The upper does sort of have a plasticky mesh feel to it, but even with that, it's still pretty comfortable. It's not anywhere close to as stretchy as something like Prime Knit because, of course, it's not a knit, but it cradles your foot really nicely. You don't feel like you're restricted in any way. Honestly, I might have to buy a second pair of these because I've worn this pair so much to a point where the foam is actually splitting down the center, which is not a good thing and probably a durability issue, but I can overlook it because of how comfortable it is. If you are looking for an excellent running shoe that also doubles as an extremely comfortable lifestyle sneaker, this guy takes the cake, and possibly, I think this could be more comfortable than the Ultra Boost, which I never thought I'd say. Number 4, the 2018 Air Jordan 11 Concord. I know I said the BC3s were a classic sneaker, but the Air Jordan 11 Concords are even more classic. The Concord 11s are what people think of when they think of Air Jordans. They think of this shoe. This shoe has such a crazy history and has been worn by so many famous people during so many memorable events. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. Not only that, but there's a reason that so many people are drawn to this sneaker, and that's because it looks so good. The patent leather gives it this classic premium look. You've also got this white mesh, which just plays so well off the black. It's a beautiful looking shoe. Not only that, but this is one of the most mass-produced Air Jordans of all time, and somehow this shoe still completely sold out, which is unheard of. Decades after its original release, this sneaker is still one of the most popular sneakers around, and I don't think that could be said for many sneakers, even some of the extremely popular sneakers today, like the Yeezys. If you were looking for the quintessential Air Jordan, this is the shoe to get. And for me, this is actually the first time I was able to get a pair, and that's because Jordan Brand actually gifted me a pair early, so huge thank you to them. Number 3, Futurecraft 4D sneakers. I've said this a million times, but it kind of has to be said to explain why I like these sneakers so much. I got my undergrad in industrial design and worked in industrial design for about 4 or 5 years before I quit to do YouTube full time, which is kind of crazy to say. And in that profession, you work with 3D printers almost all the time. So the fact that Adidas and Carbon are actually creating wearable 3D printed sneakers is unbelievable. I absolutely love the way these sneakers look. I think that 4D midsole is so cool and so different. Of course, the uppers of both sneakers look nice as well, but it's really all about that 4D midsole, and man, that 4D midsole pops. I do have to say that 4D midsoles aren't incredibly comfortable. They don't feel anything like Boost or even Bounce for that matter. I mean, honestly, they're kind of stiff. They just feel like a standard EVA outsole. The comfort isn't anything special. But the fact that Adidas is trying to create sneakers that can be customized to anyone's feet is a really cool thing. I got my first pair of Future Crafts from StockX back in February, and I've been wearing it a bunch ever since. And I've got to be honest, I thought this shoe was going to break down a lot faster than it actually has, because really there's no signs of wear so far. Very impressed by the durability of both the 4D midsole and also this super thin prime knit as well. And then this all-white Alpha Edge, I have to give a huge thank you to Adidas for, because they gifted me this as like a Christmas present, which is absolutely insane. If you guys want to check out that unboxing, make sure to click the link at the top of the screen, because not only did I get this pair, I also got a pair of another sneaker, which is also pretty exciting. But seriously, huge thank you to Adidas for this. I am so stoked to rock it. Number 2, the Air Jordan 5 Tokyo. This is probably my biggest come up ever. This is a sneaker that originally released back in April 2011 to celebrate the Tokyo Air Jordan store. It was unbelievably limited and, to my knowledge, only released in Tokyo. And so to actually have a pair is crazy. But the craziest part about this grail of a sneaker is that somehow I got this sneaker for free at ComplexCon. There was an app called Zen or something like that that was doing raffles, and they had tons of different grails, so a lot of people got shoes of this caliber, and somehow I won in my size, and I got to pick out any shoe I wanted, and this is the shoe I picked because it's the Tokyo 5s. This was a shoe that I never thought I would get ever in my collection, because I wasn't going to spend the multiple grand to actually buy this sneaker, and the fact that I have it now in my hands, in my collection, is unbelievable. You guys definitely need to check out the review and comparison I did with Heskicks, both on my channel and on his channel. I'll leave a link to those at the top of the screen. He has a pair of samples he got directly from Nike, and I have a retail pair, and he just happened to bring his pair to ComplexCon, so we were able to do some pretty cool videos about this shoe. Seriously, check those videos out because they're really, really cool. This is also a sneaker that I've actually already worn, because they made me wear the sneaker out of the event to make sure that I wasn't going to resell it, which I wasn't going to anyway, because as a sneaker reviewer, having a grail like this is kind of crazy. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about this shoe, because it's this incredible sneaker that I got for free. Like, that's nuts. My biggest sneaker come up so far, and probably my biggest sneaker come up ever, for sure. Number 1, the Union Los Angeles Air Jordan 1s. I'm sure by now you guys have seen all my other videos about this sneaker and how much I love this shoe, not only because it's an Air Jordan 1, but because of how nicely this collab came together. But it's also my favorite 2018 release, period. There's no other shoe that released in 2018 that I prefer to this shoe. But I'm sure you guys are saying, how can this be your favorite pickup of the year when you got the Tokyo 5s for free? That doesn't make sense. And the answer to that question is because this sneaker has a lot of sentimental value to me. Last weekend, I actually proposed to my girlfriend in this sneaker, and of course she said yes, which thank God she said yes, because that would have been a bummer of a day if she didn't. But now this sneaker is a sneaker that I wore on one of the happiest days of my life, so there's just no way I can ever sell this sneaker or get rid of it, because this sneaker just means so much to me because of what I did in this shoe. Yes, it's a beautiful sneaker. Yes, the Air Jordan 1 is my favorite shoe of all time, but an engagement just tops all of that. One thing a lot of you guys made sure to point out when I posted the picture of me proposing is that the right shoe right here was creasing when I was kneeling down, which, you know, makes sense because that's what has to happen. But if you look at the shoe, it's not that bad. Like, you guys can all relax. First of all, obviously it's not important because the proposal is by far the most important part. The shoes don't even matter at that point, but yo, it's not even creased. Like, chill out. So that's why the Union Los Angeles Air Jordan 1s are my favorite sneaker pickup of 2018. But that pretty much wraps up the list for today. Now, I would love to know your favorite sneaker pickups of 2018, so make sure to leave those comments in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe down below if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one. What's up, Jack?